So with It Welcome to Derry coming Sunday, which I don't know what if I'm gonna watch it or not because I literally cannot afford another streaming service. But we'll see. I kind of thought it would be pretty fun to talk about since we are still in we got 10 days away till spooky season ends. So I figured, why not? Let's talk about some shows that you can base around other Stephen King properties. Like, what other Stephen King series could you actually do uh, for as a show? Like, what could work? Now, this isn't the first time we've had Stephen King properties made into a series. Obviously, Chapelwaite, which was like a prequel to Salem's Lot. In fact, a lot of the Stephen King stuff from the 90s and early 2000s that we know and love mostly started out as TV miniseries. So my thing is, I'm going to pitch some just a few ideas here and there to really talk about just some fun ideas, just some fun ideas here and there that I had about some some things I think could work as like their own TV shows and whatnot. So let's get started. So the first thing I would really love to see is a TV series based around the Shawshank Redemption. I think that would be really cool to see the Shawshank prison before the events of the movie. Maybe talk about where some of the other lesser characters came from. Kind of more of a drama series than anything else. Not really scary, just something that could really work as like a TV series that could hold its own as like a nice little drama series. Not as dark as I know someone's gonna say, well, make it like Oz, and I'm like, nah, let's not make it like Oz. Let's actually go with the original themes of the series. I would really like to see Frank Darabont be a showrunner on this idea, make it more of a drama TV series. And I mean, for God's sake, Grey's Anatomy's been going on for 19 seasons. Every cop drama gets shows like this. I think you could milk this for at least 9 seasons, a Shawshank prison series. I think you could definitely milk it for that long, right? Yeah. So there's one. Another one would be a series based, of course, we're going to talk about it, Salem's Lot. Now, Multi, I hear you say, there was Chapelwaite, and Chapelwaite was loosely connected to Salem's Lot. You are correct. That is true. Chapelwaite was like a prequel to Salem's Lot. And, yeah. But this would basically be a series of talking about all the murders and more of the Marston house. This would focus very heavily on the I don't really think this would work as a full-on TV series. Maybe talk about it as a kind of what they're doing with It Welcome to Derry, and essentially follow a TV series that focuses on all the events of the Marston house in a trilogy of 3 seasons. Kind of again, what they're doing with It Welcome to Derry, but focus on different eras. You know what I mean? Focus on different eras of time and essentially play with those ideas. And maybe at the end of the show, you focus on Richard Straker buying the house. I think that'd be cool. I think that would be a lot of fun. Next up, a TV series based around Halloran. Dick Halloran there's always been talk. Even I know Mike Flanagan has talked about wanting to do a Dick Halloran TV show with Carl Lumbly playing Halloran, who he did play the role. Excuse me. He played the role in Dr. Sleep, and I think at first I was like, I don't know what you could get out of that, but honestly, the more I think about it, I think that's a cool idea of focusing on Doc Halloran before he met Danny. In fact, that could be the final episode of the series, we go into the events of The Shining. And it'd be really cool because we talk, you could have, Halloran, he did talk about, in the movie, because you'd have to, this idea to work, it'd have to be around the movie more than anything else. But essentially what it would be is that you follow Halloran from like his days living with his grandmother and also his abusive grandfather, learning about how he used his ability, how he learned to get in touch with the Shining. Also, talk about the True Knot, because in the book they do kind of mention it, but in the movie, in Doctor Sleep movie, it's very clear that it's how he talks about the True Knot really does feel like he had an encounter with them. So maybe not with Rose the Hat, but beings like the True Knot. Maybe that could be like an overarching story of like Halloran finding his eventually, like, one season could be him growing up. It's a younger Halloran learning to use the Shining. The second season is him bebopping across the world. Also, remember, Halloran is in he was in Shawshank for a bit, so you could have his time in prison learning to use those abilities. And also, maybe while he was in Shawshank, he encounters one of these beings that is like the True Knot. I think that would be really cool. And then the final season is him coming to, like, getting employment at the Overlook Hotel and encountering all the things in there. And then the final episode, it's him meeting Danny. Yeah. And that final episode is him getting ready to close, and then he meets Danny Torrance, and we go right into The Shining. So yeah, I would love a Dick Halloran TV series. I think that character could do a lot with him. You could do a lot with that character, excuse me. Next up, a TV series based around Christine. But here's the catch. It would be after the book, because it's always hinted that the car survived, or at least rebuilt itself. So I think it'd be really cool is, like, you follow, like, maybe it's the 90s now, and Christine has a new owner, and it's just messing with his or her mind. Play with that idea. Even have, like, Artie, his spirit is in the car too. Be kind of a neat idea. So I think a Christine TV series would be a lot of fun as well. I think, if we're going to talk about, like, other shows, I would say, oh my god, I lost it. Holy crap, I just blanked right there. I've got a bit of a headache, so... Actually, I think, like, what could work as a TV show is The Graveyard Shift. I think, like, redoing that movie as, like, a TV miniseries, I think that could really work, because God knows, like, outside of, like, The Graveyard Shift is not a good movie, and furthermore, once, Brad Dourif is killed off unceremoniously in the film, it just goes downhill. Like, we could all agree on that, right? Anyway, so there's another. I know, obviously, people are going to say Dark Tower, but that's already happening with Mike Flanagan. The Stand, someone's going to say that, but I would actually I would say, like, a spin-off series of The Stand, like, what was the rest of the world during, like, the rest of the U.S., like, post-apocalyptic during Randall Flagg's rise. But I don't think that'd be that interesting. But yeah, those are just a few ideas. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what Stephen King books or TV shows would you like to, like, what Stephen King properties do you think could carry their own TV show or own characters, like, from a book? Just comment. Say, I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about this one. I know I've been talking a lot about Stephen King, but hey, what better time? And like I said, if it's just a character from a book, or like a whole book series, or maybe like something part of that universe to really play with, like maybe, again, here's another one, Pet Sematary. I think you could get a lot out of Pet Sematary with that property. Like I said, one of the Pet Sematary Bloodline sucks so much balls, but that moment in the flashback where it's like almost like a folk horror, you could do a whole series around that, I swear to God. But yeah, just comment below, let me know. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.